Introduce yourself. Name, age, and where you're from and how long you've lived there.
Hi, my name is Peter Gray. I'm 20 going on 21 and I live in East Longmeadow, Mass.
Tell us about your cake business. How did you get started? How long have you been in the business? Give us a brief history about it.
My cake business's name is Pete Sweets. It started about 9 years ago when I was in the 4th grade as an oral presentation, and from there I went into middle school where I sold chocolate bars for $1 and started to outsell the school lunch, so I was asked to stop. And then in high school I switched to making specialty cakes like purses and cars and things like that. And, you know, from there I kind of went on to doing just all over wedding cakes, specialty things, you know, kind of built up from there. So,
how would you describe your personality? What makes you tick?
My personality is crazy, you know that. I'm very loud, outgoing, like to talk to people. I don't care who you are, or what, like I'm gonna speak my mind when I talk to you. I'm not up for pleasing other people opinion-wise. I'm, you know, up to have a good time.
How would your friends and toughest critics describe you in one word? Would you agree with them?
I can at times be an ass-kisser. I really can. I refer to as being like, you know, outgoing, or, you know, I really like to build up contacts and have a lot of, you know, people that I like to meet and really impress them, but it sometimes comes off as ass-kissing or, you know, being a suck-up. But, you know, I don't care. Again, I'm not up for pleasing other people. I do what it takes to do whatever. You know, it's all about me. So.
What would someone not know about you by looking at you? What do you want people to know about you?
I can kind of be a backstabber. I know that sounds awful to say, but I really can. I can, when it comes to competitions, I do whatever it takes. I'm not someone to lay down and take it. I really am up for a fight, and I can be, you know, undermining, underhanded, so I know that's an awful thing to say, but I really have no trouble throwing people under the bus.
What is an odd fact about you or talent that you possess?
Well, I can't show you right now, but I can do cartwheels. I know it's such an odd thing to say, but I'm a 250-pound man and I can do more cartwheels than some high school cheerleaders. That's an odd fact, I guess.
Has baking ever helped you through a tough time? What does baking mean to you?
Well, I'm an emotional eater. No, baking just brings me back to my center. I do a lot of baking for people to make, I mean, it makes me feel better when I make other people feel better, and through baking is one of my talents, one of my very few talents that I do have. I think that between personality and baking for others, that really brings joy to them, which then brings joy to me. So, you know, that kind of helps with emotion-wise, I guess.
What types of people or things push your buttons and why?
I really hate when people bitch and moan about things that they have put themselves in that own situation. At school I had a lot of this. I had some people like, oh, I don't want to do this, why are we here? Like, get the hell out. You don't have to be here for any reason. No one's holding your hand. We're not forcing you to be here. I pay good money to be here, so you can get the hell out.
Describe your most embarrassing moment.
My most embarrassing moment. I'm sure you'll be able to see this Paula Deen video that I do, but it's embarrassing in itself. But on top of that, the friend whose kitchen I filmed it in, they wanted a cake made for her mom for her surprise birthday. So they asked me, oh, it would be funny if you dressed up like Paula Deen. So I dressed up like Paula Deen, and I was driving, and as a lot of you know, that cake decorating, that driving with cakes is very nerve-wracking. But so I'm driving with this cake, and I blow through a red light because, baby, I'm not going to step on the brakes to have this cake go flying on my delivery. And obviously, I get pulled over. And I'm dressed like a woman, and I have no explanation to why I went through this red light. And I'm like, you know, that stuff doesn't bother me, though, because I enjoy having embarrassing things happen to me, because not only can I take the heat, but I get to tell a great story afterwards, so I really do enjoy it. But that's one of my major embarrassing moments.
If you've watched any episodes of Next Great Baker, which cast members do you relate to and why?
I haven't really watched a lot of The Next Great Baker between school and internship and working. I haven't had a chance to really watch TV or much of anything, sleep, see my family, absolutely anything. But in general, with any of the shows through cake decorating, I can relate to almost anyone because it's what I do. Fondant is fondant. When I work with it, when someone else works with it, I can just, see it. I know how it feels like the same way I can see that them doing it. So, it's very, very easy to relate to absolutely everyone. So,
Do you feel your skills are better than the previous contestants on season 1 and 2?
From some bits.
Elaborate and creative are your designs? Any special skills like 3D sculpting, pyrotechnics, sugar work?
I've done some sugar work and things at school. I haven't had a lot of outlets. I live in a small town. My business is mostly soccer moms and neighborhood people. But, no mom wants a giant pyrotechnic flame-throwing cake. I haven't had an outlet to do anything like that. But, having said that, I want to do that stuff so bad. I want to do wild and crazy things, and I think with the tools and resources that I'm given, I can do some pretty incredible stuff. Before school, I was self-taught, so I didn't do a lot of that kind of stuff, but in school I got to do a lot of sugar work with isomalts and chocolate work with different specialty chocolates and all sorts of tools, but a lot of things that I come in contact with, I think I can pick it up fairly quick, so.
Tell us about your food industry experience. Culinary schools, jobs, cooking classes, self-taught. Do you have pastry or other baking experiences besides cakes?
I have been self-taught up until going to cooking school. I went to New England Culinary Institute in Vermont, but before then, with my business and all that, I've just simply done been self-taught to myself. I've gone to a couple Wilton classes, things like that, but through watching shows, and I'd sit there while watching like Cake Boss or shows like that and literally draw pictures of what they were doing or write down techniques and things. It's really learning from yourself, so.
What type of kitchen behavior pisses you off when you're baking and trying to get the job done?
When people are being arrogant or trying to talk to me is what really bothers me. I like to get in the zone. I like to, get very detail work stuff. If someone's gnawing my ear off, I'm like, sorry, Barbara Walters, can we carry on this interview later on? Like, I don't want to have people, chatting me up during that. I'm all for talking, but when it comes to me concentrating, I'm like, get out of my face, so.
What do you consider cliche in the baking world?
Cliche in the baking world, I'd have to say big jolly bakers. Having said that, though, I am one of those people. I am the biggest cliche, no pun intended, when it comes to that. I am like Santa Claus. I come bounding in the rooms and, giggly, laughing, and have lots of fun with that. But other than that, I know it's not quite a cliche, but more of being irony. Skinny bakers. I don't understand that. Skinny bakers. I'm surprised these little bitches that, get to win these TV shows and things, how they don't fall over from them giving them the big checks at the end. These people are so skinny. Do you not eat any of your stuff? Do you not eat at all? I just don't get it. Have you ever heard of Don't Trust the Skinny Chef? Apparently they're not eating what they're making, so.
How elaborate and creative are your designs when baking? Describe your most elaborate cake.
My most elaborate cake was probably one that I did in school because I had the tools and resources. I had a lot of supplies. I was able to do a more or less like Sylvia Weinstock, where it's very full, robust, full of flowers, not a lot of negative space. I don't like negative space that much. I like to do a lot of very gigantic, full pieces, but, So that's probably one of my favorite.
What do you think will be your strengths and weaknesses in this competition?
Talking, probably. I'm not quite, the quietest person. I do a lot of talking. I feel that can be a strength, though, because not only can I distract others, but, through humor I can kind of lighten the mood, make things a little better, have a lot of fun with stuff. But at the same time, I feel that, that can work to my disadvantage, that it could be a downfall for me.
If you had to brag about your most important accomplishments in your career, what would they be?
Obviously, auditioning for the show is pretty big. Some people are like, oh, my kid's on the honor roll. Well, I'm going to have my mom get a bumper sticker that says my kid is on TLC. It's just incredible to get this opportunity. It kind of fell into my lap, but, so...
Describe your competitive nature. What kind of competitor would you be on the show? Please explain.
I can kind of be, like, a backstabber, an undermining person. I can do a lot of different things to win, but yeah. So I'll get back to the rest of that answer to the next question in just a sec. Give me just a minute.